inside yourself, you've got it all. You've got it all. When you point your finger at another, you are pointing at the mirror. And if you're talking undercover, the truth is made much clearer. If you focus on the bad, always pointing out flaws. If you're searching for a reason, then you might be the cause. Stop, you can let it go. Take a step back, you can let it flow. Look around, feel the ground. Love will make its way around. Stop, you can let it go. Take a step back, you can let it flow. Let the feelings flow. Hey, hey. Thank you for visiting my channel. If you are new here, my name is Miriam. I'm an intuitive, I'm a numerologist, I'm a lot of things. But more than anything, I'm a human being and I'm a person. And sometimes when I hear that song, I've heard that song, I gotta remember, I'm like, I could let it go, you know? Lately, road rage has started rearing its head again, being like, what are you doing? What are you doing? I mean, not reading their license plates to be like, let's take a second and see what they're trying to tell me. So I have to remember, when you point a finger at another, you are pointing at a mirror. And if you're talking undercover, the truth is made much clearer. Because also some of the times, I'm that person on the road. Oh yeah, if you're new here, you're supposed to hear stuff from me. Whatever. Bye. It's so funny. Today was just one of those days that I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just be off doing the stuff that I'm doing all day, every day. That's what it seems like. I woke up immediately, was just go, 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 do this, go, go, do that. That happens a lot, but it was a different type of go, go, go. You know, there's the normal routine, there's the normal jobs, there's the normal confirmation burp. But today, I was, come over here. Oh, come over here. Do this work that's put ahead of you. Do this work that's put ahead of you. And so I just now got to the point where I'm able to sit down. And when I go and see what time it is, and I sit down at my computer, it's 4:14. The day is almost over. And that's okay. Because I'm in an 8 day today. And that was just the energy. The energy was more I had to do some stuff. And I did. And I did. And that song came on. And that's always so nice to just like have the music speak to you and have the music tell you it's all right. Have me run around here with my hair all tangled up. I'm telling you, woke up, we gotta go, we got things to do. And then there's still stuff to do, but that's okay. What I often do, is give myself permission to have myself a little break, a little lunch break, a little me time break. And I'll be like, oh, and I'll just say lunch break. Even if there's nothing like specifically that like there's like a specific shift, because some of the things that I do don't have a shift. You know, I'm just out here doing the thing. But that's just because when you're going on a bunch of different paths at once, sometimes it seems like one of the jobs is this, is interacting with everybody here. But this is something that I've allowed for myself. Like I've introduced for myself on top of all the things in my life. Um, and it really is something that I'm surprised has, I guess, stayed so long. 5:45 as I say this. What I have found throughout all the tryings in my life, there's always one thing that kind of sticks around from the phases of things that I'm trying. Um, there are common themes and stuff that tend to follow me. Um, Music, I like music, but who doesn't like music? Um, Talking people's ears off, probably. Having myself a little diary. I used to sing, "Dear, dear diary, I wanna tell my secrets. You're the only one that I know who keep them. Yeah, yeah." I like ran through that song, through that whole album. Pink, Misunderstood. My Pisces soul loves it. I love being, I'm so misunderstood. I'm a victim. Don't you understand? I'll throw myself on the cross for you. Ah, you don't understand the amount of love I can give. Ugh, egos. Mm. For some reason, you are stuck in this belief that you have any control. And that I feel like makes you scared when you hear it. But mind you, I'm just some person on the internet, just like you could be some person on the internet too. Like right now, like you could like stop watching this and immediately like you could record a like literally a fart and then upload it. And 7:57 as I say this, and you will be a person on the internet just like me. Now I'm not saying these are farts for me, as you know, but I'm just saying essentially I'm not doing anything special. And that's something of what I've noticed here is that I think you got it twisted a little bit. You aren't finding me because I know something that you don't. You're finding me because you already know these things about yourself. 424 my time as I say this, by the way. You already know these things about yourself. That's why it's even able to validate or resonate with you because you recognize it. And a lot of times, like, don't get me wrong, I am extremely thankful and I love it. I love it. My head gets real big when people say thank you so much and like what you're doing and all the things that people say like really touch my heart. Um, because it's my intent. But the point is I'm just still a regular person, regular person. The only difference is that I just stopped giving a fuck about what people are gonna think whenever I post these videos. About making sure that I am accessible enough, that I am editing enough, that I'm doing all these thumbnails, that I'm doing all these things, that all the due diligence to reach people and all of that. And honestly, people are overwhelming. Even like one person is an overwhelming amount of like contact. But whenever there's a bunch of people, it takes some time to get into the ebb and flow of that. Like a lot of it is just like I'm not on medias a lot and getting contacted through multiple different medias like for the most part if you want to get in contact with me, Patreon and my email is going to be the best way, because that's where I'm going to be looking more often. But it's it's like you don't give yourself grace in dealing with how many people you deal with. Like, you look at me and you're like, well, she's probably dealing with all these people. And don't get me wrong, I'm dealing with some people. But, like, I'm not dealing with all 400 plus people. 407, let me see, 470 as of this moment. It goes up and down. 478 subscribers. I'm not talking to every single one of them at once and emailing every one of them. But it's like, I don't know. Sometimes you think that you have to be this person who manages all this, not even manage, I would say nurtures, who nurtures all of these relationships. And it's almost to the point where you feel like if people aren't nurturing and giving as much as you're giving 100% all the time, that then it is a slight against you or something. Sometimes, not all the time, because sometimes you get it. Sometimes you get it, but sometimes it can just really feel like, hello, I'm putting in all this energy, and this person isn't like doing that same thing. And sometimes you really shouldn't be putting in that much energy to a lot of these people, to a lot of people, to so many people. Like, some people just don't get to know you yet. Some people just don't get to have access to you yet. And so this is something that it's hard to stomach, because it feels like for so long you've been kind of like overlooked. Like, hey, I've got something here. I've got something here. Like, let me share this, or let me show it, or like I have a talent, or like it's just, or like a demeanor or something. And for some reason, like, you'll have your hand up in 1, 2, 3, 4, as I say this, you'll have your hand up in class and you're like, okay, I can answer that, I can answer that, I can answer that. And the teacher calls on somebody else and they get it wrong. And they call on a bunch of people and they all get it wrong. And your hand's still up and the teacher's like, great, none of y'all know it. And then he turns around, the answer's this. And that's the answer you were going to give. And you're like, what the fuck? And then whenever you say, oh, I was going to answer that, nobody believes you. And honestly, I feel like that's what's been happening a lot in your life, is that people just don't believe you. And so maybe you don't believe you anymore, because, like, that's kind of been the pattern. Even whenever you are believing in yourself and you're working towards it, it's still like a lot easier said than done to break that, whenever what it seems to be or how it can be perceived is that the reflections of this world is this, you as this person. And when I say some people just aren't meant to know you yet, it's like, I don't know if you watch shows or something. I don't know. It kind of reminds me of, there's an anime kind of character trope where there's the one character who's suffering all the time, but nobody says, they don't say anything. And then people kind of like just treat them like shit and kind of like assume the worst of them and like assume like, oh, well, they're ignoring me, or you know what? No, they chose to, they forgot me on purpose. They this or that, or they specifically hit me with their car on purpose. But turns out like that person like fell asleep at the wheel because they'd been working 1,000 jobs because they were trying to pay for the orphanage. I don't know. It's not even an anime trope. That's not an anime like storyline or anything that I know of. But it's the character that suffers in silence. The character that says nothing about their suffering. Their true suffering. Like, it's like too much of a burden for you to share it. And so often what you don't realize is that you may find yourself complaining about a lot of other things, even if you don't realize it. Like, It may not be something big, but it may be a little bit of road rage. It may be a little bit of all these other things that just allow the bubbling over to happen a little bit sooner than, or a little bit easier than preferred. So honestly, we don't want to bubble over at all. You have finally gotten to the point where you have so little expectation of yourself that you can stop having expectations of others. That doesn't mean that you stop getting disappointed. That doesn't mean that you stop having all the bad other, like the other feelings too. You still have those. There's still the good feelings. There's still the everything in between. But even as we're like waiting for certain things to happen, because that's my, okay, that's one of my most frustrating emotions that I like to talk about is waiting, the anticipation, the frustration of waiting. And sometimes the reason why waiting is so hard is because perhaps in your past, when you would wait for something, either something bad would happen, or maybe perhaps you were disappointed because somebody said that they were going to, like, oh yeah, I'm going to do this, I promise. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to do this. And then that day comes and then it doesn't happen. And you've been waiting for so long and so happy to, oh, I can't wait. We're going to go to the water park. And then y'all don't go to the water park or something. I don't know. I don't know why water park. But it causes an abandonment of the dream. And it's a different type of abandonment issue. It's an abandonment of excitement. Sometimes we teach ourselves to stop being excited and we start teaching ourselves to be realistic or a bit more pessimistic because it hurts so bad whenever we're disappointed by the expectation. And like we just were like somebody set that expectation for us, you know? And that's what's really hard. It's like, okay, you said this, we agreed on this, like you said that you were gonna show up and then you didn't show up. Like you like come on, Dad. Like you said you were gonna pick me up, or you said that you're gonna come watch me at my recital, and you didn't. I don't know if it's a dad or a recital or whatever. I don't know, but it's still like, what the heck am pooping? I'm just a baby, you know. I'm just a baby, and here you are, just like telling me stuff, and so I'm gonna believe you because you're the grown up. You're the grown up. Be grown up. And so even now, like if those are things that happened in the past, it's not like something you like immediately work through just because you remember it. It's also understanding to the point of forgiveness, not even necessarily to the person, but to yourself. A lot of times we are so mean to ourselves about like how we could have changed it or how we could have done stuff different or whatever, but like literally if I was if I was skating and I tripped and fell and skid my knee, and then I said all like, and then a bunch of people came up to me and was like, "Oh my God, why were you skating in the first place? Ew, that's so disgusting. It's probably gonna get infected. Oh God, they're gonna chop your leg off. They're gonna chop your leg off. I know it for a fact because it's gonna happen, and this is why you should never skate. Honestly, you probably look stupid skating anyway. You were never even graceful in the first place." Why are all those people yelling at a little kid who was just skating? But those were the thoughts that were running through my head. Who the fuck are these people? But yet still somehow that's kind of what happens still. To you're in this loop. And it's like you're extremely high vibes. And you're doing all this work and you're doing all this esoteric work and this Gnostic work, and it's like, okay, I'm doing it. I'm doing the work. And so what, come on now. What is it? But it's like just never ending work. It is such a tangled yarn of mess. And you're getting a knot undone, and you're getting a knot undone, and you're getting a knot undone, and you're getting a knot undone. And then eventually you'll get a whole, all the knots will be done. And then you're like, well, what do I do now? Oh, well, over here, look, the crease. This is a knot still, right? This is a knot still, right? This is a knot. This is, no, it's not. It's not a knot. Sometimes you feel like, oh, well, it must be that. No, now you just have a bunch of yarn that's untangled. Now you can go ahead and do whatever you want with it. You can crochet a skirt. You could crochet a purse. You could do a bunch of crochet pasties if you want. Like, I don't know. Do you? You've got all this yarn to do whatever you want with it. So do something with it. You can also literally do nothing with it right now. You can just make sure it stays untangled, put it away, and relax your fingers for god dang sakes. Because you just untangled so many knots. Even if you know that there are more knots in the yarn, you just, it's frustrating and it takes effort and energy to untangle a knot. And it's almost like you're forgetting that you aren't being a gentle parent to yourself sometimes. That you're just expecting so much demand from yourself. Okay, good job. Now next thing. Come on next. Come on next. No rest. Come on. No, come on next. Keep going. Go. And sometimes that's really how the universe has it going. Where it's like lesson. And you're just like, jeez Louise. Papa jeez. What? You're getting to the point where you are sensing it a bit more. You're understanding it a bit more to where you can breathe louder than the emotion, breathe louder than the thought. And you are just being a little bit nicer to yourself. Little by little, little bit kinder to yourself, little by little. But that doesn't mean it's like gonna be easy. That doesn't mean that you're not still gonna get pissed off at people and annoyed with people and like assume the worst, or like sometimes you're like, are you manipulating me? Are you being manipulative? Like, you're gonna be on alert for all of those other things. And sometimes you gotta just be like, and if they are, then what? This ain't none of my business until they tell me. Until they are direct to you, until somebody comes to you directly and says, hey, this bothered me, and whatever, this is blah blah blah. They have to tell you what's up. I don't know what it is, but they gotta tell you what's up. And I welcome anybody. If you got a problem, say, hey, send me an email, send me a message on Patreon and be like, hey, I have a problem. Feel free, feel comfortable. I want people to feel comfortable because honestly, just let it out. It is what it is. Like, I won't know unless you say it. and the same with people in your life. You just simply won't know about these things unless they say it to you. And perhaps like you're waiting for somebody to say something to you. Maybe you're like somebody who lets people lie to you, even though you know that they're lying, but you're waiting for them to feel comfortable to say it to you. Maybe it's time to quit taking part in that lie. Quit letting people lie to you. Because you know they're lying to you. You know when people are lying to you. You know? Anyway, I'm gonna hop off. I got other stuff to do. It's been an interesting week. That's what I'll say. But anyway, soon things will chill out a little bit, and just not anytime soon. For my next few weeks are going to be pretty busy. But yeah, it's a blessing to be busy. It's just that time of year, so it is a blessing. It's going to be fun. It's going to be great. Yeah. Lovies, I just want to let you know that you got this. And much love. It's going to be a lot of stuff, but it doesn't have to be all at once. You're allowed to take things one at a time. You don't have to multitask. You don't have to the best way to, in order to multitask, it is best to consolidate. So then that way you're not really having to do more than one thing at a time. You can consolidate it into one thing and then be able to do. Essentially, you'll be doing multiple tasks at once, but it's only because things have been consolidated. So essentially just trimming the fat. Anyway, that's that. Okay, I'm gonna get to it. In the meantime, lovies, y'all keep a lookout for the numbers and stay synchronized.